Hey friends, welcome back, and thank you for being here today because we need to talk right now about some major changes coming to Social Security that are going to impact tens of millions of Americans starting January 1st, 2026. This is not one of those updates you can afford to ignore or skim over, because if you don't understand what's happening, you could wake up one morning, check your bank account, and be completely confused or even panicked about why your payment looks different, why it arrived earlier or later than expected, or why the increase you were promised feels like it disappeared overnight. Starting in 2026, nearly 75 million Americans will see changes to their Social Security checks, and I'm not just talking about the 2.8% cost of living adjustment. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, and much of it is not being clearly explained to everyday people who rely on these payments to survive. We're talking about confusing and shifting payment schedules, the official end of paper checks, sudden and sometimes shocking status changes for disability recipients, and a Medicare premium increase that is going to quietly eat up most, if not all, of your COLA increase. If you are receiving Social Security retirement benefits, SSI, SSDI, survivor benefits, or spousal benefits, this affects you directly. And even if you think you already understand how Social Security works, 2026 is bringing enough changes that many people are still going to be caught completely off guard. That's why in this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know, step by step, in plain language, without government jargon and without confusing runaround explanations. Before we get into all of that, I want to ask you to do me a very quick favor. It takes about 2 seconds. Just tap the like button on this video. It helps push this information out to more people who desperately need it, especially seniors and disabled Americans who don't always get clear updates from the Social Security Administration. I truly appreciate your support, and now let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad you found this channel. My goal has always been simple: to help real people understand Social Security and government benefits without feeling overwhelmed, confused, or talked down to. Anyone who has ever tried to deal with the SSA knows how frustrating it can be. The long hold times, the letters filled with confusing language, the conflicting answers depending on who you talk to, and the constant fear that you might be missing something important that could cost you money. I've been through that process myself while helping family members navigate their benefits, and I remember how stressful it was not knowing if we were doing everything right. That frustration is exactly why I started making these videos, because you deserve to know what you're entitled to, when you're getting paid, and how to protect your benefits. Today, we're covering a lot of ground, and I want you to stay with me all the way through because every piece of this matters. We're going to talk about the 2.8% COLA increase and what that actually means for your monthly check starting January 2026. We'll break down the full 2026 payment schedule organized by birthday because yes, it really is that confusing, and yes, people still get tripped up by it every year. We'll talk about the Medicare Part B premium increase and how it's going to reduce your real take-home amount, even though your benefit is technically going up. We'll also talk about why millions of seniors are still living below the poverty line even with these annual increases, and the one major change to the COLA formula that experts say could add anywhere from $300 to $500 per month to your check. I'll also give you the exact payment dates for January and February, so you know precisely when your money is coming and can plan your bills accordingly. Let's start with the big headline that everyone is talking about. The Social Security Administration has announced that benefits will increase by 2.8% in 2026. On paper, that sounds like good news, and technically, it is an increase. But the real question is whether that increase is actually enough to keep up with the real cost of living that seniors and disabled Americans are facing every single day. The honest answer, and I want to be very clear about this, is no. For millions of people, 2.8% is simply not enough. Right now, in 2025, there are roughly 5 million seniors who are already receiving Social Security checks that put them below the federal poverty level. That number is expected to grow in 2026, even with this increase. When you look at the rising costs of groceries, rent, utilities, insurance, and especially healthcare, it becomes painfully obvious that the annual COLA adjustments are not keeping pace with reality. But let's break this down into real numbers, because percentages don't pay the bills. Dollars do. For SSI recipients, the individual maximum federal benefit is increasing from $967 in 2025 to $994 in 2026. Some early estimates suggest it could be as high as $997, but we'll know the exact figure when those payments are officially issued. And here's something very important that a lot of people don't realize. Because January 1st is a federal holiday, SSI recipients will actually receive their January 2026 payment early on December 31st, 2025. That means nearly 7.5 million SSI recipients will see their increased payment hit their accounts before the new year even begins. For couples receiving SSI, the combined federal benefit is increasing from around $1,450 to approximately $1,491. That's not a massive jump, but it is still an increase. For Social Security retirement beneficiaries at full retirement age, the maximum monthly benefit is increasing to around $4,050, up from approximately $4,018 in 2025. For maximum earners who retire at age 70, the top benefit is expected to rise to about $5,551 per month, up from around $5,518. These numbers sound large, but remember, most people do not receive anywhere near the maximum benefit. Nearly 71 million Americans receiving Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability benefits will see their increased payments begin in January 2026. And this brings us to an important point that often gets overlooked. Who exactly qualifies for this COLA increase? The answer is almost everyone receiving Social Security benefits. If you are already receiving Social Security retirement benefits, your check will increase automatically. If you receive SSI due to age, disability, or limited income, you are included. If you receive SSDI, your benefit will also increase. Survivor benefit recipients, including widows, widowers, and children receiving benefits based on a deceased parent's work record, are included as well. And if you receive spousal benefits based on your spouse's earnings history, you are also getting the adjustment. However, there is something that disability recipients in particular need to be very careful about going into 2026. The Social Security Administration has been increasing the frequency and intensity of disability reviews, and some people are seeing sudden and unexpected status changes. In some cases, individuals are receiving notices saying their disability status has been reclassified or that their benefits are being reviewed more aggressively. If this happens to you, it is absolutely critical that you act immediately. File an appeal as soon as possible, keep copies of all medical documentation, and do not ignore letters from the SSA. Waiting can cost you months of benefits. Now let's talk about one of the most confusing parts of Social Security every single year, the payment schedule. This is where people get tripped up, miss payments, or think something has gone wrong when it hasn't. Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability benefits are paid on different Wednesdays of the month, depending on your birthday. If you were born between the 1st and the 10th of any month, you are paid on the second Wednesday. If you were born between the 11th and the 20th, you are paid on the third Wednesday. If you were born between the 21st and the 31st, you are paid on the fourth Wednesday. SSI recipients are different. SSI is paid on the 1st of each month. If the 1st falls on a weekend or a holiday, the payment is sent on the last business day before that. This is why you sometimes see SSI payments arrive early, and it's completely normal. Let me give you the exact dates for January and February 2026 so there is no confusion. In January 2026, Social Security beneficiaries born between the 1st and the 10th will be paid on January 14th. Those born between the 11th and the 20th will be paid on January 21st. Those born between the 21st and the 31st will be paid on January 28th. SSI recipients will receive their February payment early on January 30th because February 1st falls on a weekend. In February 2026, Social Security beneficiaries born between the 1st and the 10th will be paid on February 11th. Those born between the 11th and the 20th will be paid on February 18th. Those born between the 21st and the 31st will be paid on February 25th. SSI recipients will receive their March payment early on February 27th because March 1st falls on a weekend. I strongly recommend writing these dates down or saving them in your phone so you know exactly when to expect your money. Now we need to talk about the part that makes a lot of people angry, and honestly, I don't blame you. While you are getting a 2.8% COLA increase, Medicare Part B premiums are also going up. The standard Part B premium increased to $174.70 in 2025, rose to around $185, and is expected to climb even higher in 2026. For most people, Medicare Part B premiums are automatically deducted from their Social Security check. That means your increase is partially, or sometimes almost completely, canceled out before you ever see it. Let's do some simple math. If you are an SSI recipient and your benefit increases from $967 to $994, that's a $27 increase. If your Medicare premium goes up by $10 or more, you're only seeing about $17 extra per month. For couples, an increase of around $41 can quickly be cut in half once higher Medicare premiums are deducted. This is exactly why so many seniors remain below the poverty line, even though their benefits technically increase every year. This brings us to one of the most important conversations we need to have about Social Security. The way COLA is calculated is fundamentally flawed. Right now, the SSA uses a measurement called cpi-e, which tracks inflation based on the spending habits of urban wage earners and clerical workers. But here's the problem. Most Social Security recipients are not wage earners anymore. They are retirees or disabled individuals, and they spend their money very differently. Seniors spend a much larger portion of their income on healthcare, prescription drugs, housing, and utilities. cpi-e does not accurately reflect these costs. There is another measurement called cpi-e, the Consumer Price Index for the elderly. This index specifically tracks the spending patterns of older Americans. It gives more weight to healthcare costs, housing, and essential expenses. Experts estimate that if Social Security COLA were calculated using cpi-e instead of cpi-e, monthly benefits could increase by $300 to $500 for many recipients. That kind of increase would be life-changing for people living on fixed incomes. If you support switching to cpi-e, I want you to make your voice heard. Write, "I support cpi-e" in the comments. Lawmakers need to know that the current system is not working for seniors and disabled Americans. There are a few more important changes you need to be aware of going into 2026. Paper checks are being phased out. If you are still receiving your Social Security or SSI by paper check, the SSA is strongly pushing everyone toward direct deposit or the Direct Express debit card. Make sure your payment method is set up correctly to avoid delays. Disability reviews are increasing, so keep all medical records up to date. Earnings limits for people working while receiving benefits are also increasing, which means you may be able to earn more without affecting your benefits. Now let's talk about what you should actually do. First, log into your My Social Security account and verify your payment method and benefit amount. Second, mark your payment dates on your calendar. Third, check if you qualify for additional assistance programs, including Medicare savings programs, extra help with Part D, SNAP benefits, energy assistance, and property tax relief. Fourth, if you are struggling, call 211. It's free and can connect you with local resources. I want to be honest with you. A 2.8% increase is not going to solve the financial challenges many of you are facing. But you are not alone, and you deserve better. You've earned these benefits. You've paid into the system. And you deserve dignity, stability, and security. When your December 31st SSI payment arrives, come back and tell me what amount you received. And if this video helped you, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and hit that like button so more people can find this information. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.